Hello everyone, hope you are doing well, and this video is going to be another yearly installment of talking about Tarkov on my birthday. It's March 1st, like almost midnight. It's not March 1st, but it's almost midnight, and I just wanted to, I did this last year, and I enjoyed doing it, and I figured to do it again this year. So, just going to riff about Tarkov for a little while, see where we go. I got some bullet points so I don't go off too much, but I don't have like a full script written out, so you're gonna hear ums and uhs and stuff like that. So let's like that. let's get into it. So I guess we should start with the current state of the game. It's probably one of the best situations Tarkov's been in a long time, at least especially this wipe patch 0.14 with armor hitboxes and the streets expansions and all that. They did a lot for this game, and I'm very happy where things are, especially if we compare it to where we were last year, where cheaters were so rampant. I mean, they're still bad, but I don't know, man. Something about last year, it was such a bad situation. It felt like BSG wasn't listening, and they were making changes that were bad, on top of all the problems just stacking, and it was such a toxic environment to be around. But luckily, a year later, things are significantly different. It's much more positive. It's not perfect, obviously, but I can say with confidence that, like, patch 0.14, I don't know if it's the biggest wipe, but it might be the most important wipe that Tarkov has ever had, next to, like, Reserve, and the Twitch drops and how the game got so big. It's crazy what this patch has done for the game. Especially the recoil. Oh my god, the recoil changes. The recoil changes fundamentally changed the game in the best ways possible. It might have honestly saved the game, because I look at old footage from before, and it's like two different games, genuinely. It doesn't even... I'm blown away that we played the game with the recoil that we had. It's crazy. Guns just immediately kick straight up into the air and then settle down into the recoil pattern, and it's baffling, dude, when you look at footage from a couple of years ago. Like, pistols especially. I don't know how we use those things, but no, the recoil is insanely amazing. I was a little worried, though, to be honest, when they were talking about it during the summer, and they showed off some early footage of the recoil. It looked terrible, and I was very concerned. But they must have done a ton of internal testing, must have had the ETS test the crap out of it and give feedback. And what we have now is genuinely amazing. Granted, some guns are still a little funky. I guess the RD and the Mutant still are pretty bad to use, which honestly I'm okay with, because those guns have had their time in the sun for a very long time. But things like the FAL and the SA-58, those feel weird. I think they changed the way the gun's animations are when you just walk around with it, and I don't like it. But other than that, like, every single gun is incredible. Even the LMGs, like the RPD and the PKM, like, they're somewhat usable, which is, like, you never thought that would be the case, you know? But I think the biggest point of contention with this patch would be the armor changes. Like, on paper, the idea of making it so that the armor is accurate and the hitboxes are only where the plates are, like, that makes sense, but in practice, sometimes it feels like you die even faster than you did before the armor changes, and then sometimes you get lucky and you're a tank and you soak up 1 billion damage, but for the most part, it's just confusing, I think, is what's most frustrating about the situation. People have been testing and trying to figure it out, and it's like, that's cool. Glad that we have people in the community that are willing to put time into stuff like that, but ultimately, at any point, BSG could change things and tell us or not tell us. They could update the game, and things could change on the back end that we don't know about. They could break the game, which is what happened, I think it was like a week or two ago, when they updated the game, and it broke pistols. Some of the maps had terrible FPS, so they had to roll that back, and then they fixed it. But armor is interesting, but at the same time very confusing and kind of frustrating sometimes. But now, I mean, some armors that were basically never used before are, like, super popular now, like the Ospreys and the Gen 4s are back in business again. And things like the Slicks and Tactics and all that stuff, not as popular, but again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Having variety in what we wear and what we use is important, especially with guns and armor and stuff like that. But the ammo situation too, I forgot the ammo got completely changed this wipe as well. And how wildly different it is with how you basically don't get any of the good ammos until later into the game. Early game, I think it's cool. It's basically like you are literally scrounging for bullets. Like you're taking bullets out of scav mags because you need ammo and you're getting whatever your hands on, you know? So I think that's cool. Still not a huge fan of them just being like, oh, M855, we'll take it off the vendors, and if you get super high level and you complete a quest and you just craft it, and it's like, ugh, that doesn't solve the problem. It just pushes the goalpost down, you know what I mean? But either way, the early to mid game is very interesting now, where like M855 is like your go-to round for FM4s and stuff, which I think is funny. You know, it's cool. We never had that before. It was like, oh, get to level 14, get M856A1, and you're good to go until level 30. And it was like, no, it's different now. But aside from that, I've done a lot more quests this wipe personally. It's the most I've ever done. I've done a huge chunk of the Streets quests, which I've come to really enjoy Streets as a map. Besides the FPS, it's still not perfect, but the map is super enjoyable to play, fun, really interesting. Bosses are a little brutal, but like that's the point. Really, really happy with playing Streets and learning that map. It's super fun. Still hate Lighthouse. Punisher Part 4 this wipe absolutely reaffirms that Lighthouse is the worst map in the entire game. It's terrible. That map really could use some adjusting with spawns and stuff, but I don't know how they do that. And we just recently got an update for Arena. I think it was yesterday, honestly, or 2 days ago. Arena's... I have mixed feelings about Arena. Arena's cool, but at the same time, it's more of the same. Even though it's better with like the presets and all that stuff, I should make a video talking about the Arena update and kind of what it did and how it's really just like not what we need, man. Ultimately, I think unfortunately Tarkov is just not meant for an arena shooter style game. I'm glad that they tried. I'm very happy that they made a valiant attempt, and they're going to keep making it better. Like we saw a roadmap of what they're planning on doing, and if they can execute everything on that map to a T, it might genuinely be awesome, but it's still really frustrating. And now they added the new armor changes, so things are even more confusing in Arena, and I don't know, man. It's cool. I'm going to put a little bit of time into it. It's not my go-to. I end up just getting frustrated when I play, but other than that, it's more of the same for me. I mean, I'm still, you know, coming up with ideas and discussions to have about Tarkov while we wait for more changes and iterations to come. I've been doing a lot of shorts too with Gunsmith. That's been super fun, giving people very quick and concise ways of getting those quest lines done. It seems like people enjoy those, so I'm going to keep doing them. Might try to do more tutorial-esque style videos. I'm not 100% sure. My problem with those is like, you write the script and you get it all done, and then after you finish, you're like, oh man, I forgot that like one thing, or what about that one situation, one of those use cases, you know, you always forget. Tarkov's so a complex game that you forget the tiniest details sometimes, which I hate because I feel like it makes it a bad video, but we might do more of those. I really want to do more like cinematic stuff, you know, maybe longer form videos talking about multiple raids, going over an experience, trying to make it more cinematic somehow. I'm very limited with using only the in-game assets. It's tough, but that's something I really want to pursue and try to get better with editing and trying to get better at storytelling. Want to get better at thumbnails, you know, the typical YouTube stuff. But other than that, the year was pretty good to me, good to the channel. You know, very slowly but surely we're growing, which I am happy with. I hope to continue to do that. Hope to just pull more people in and get them talking about what we're discussing and getting more people involved. So I hope you enjoy what I'm putting out, and I think that's it. I think we're good to go. So thank you for listening to my ramblings about Tarkov on my birthday. This might become a yearly thing. I kind of enjoy doing it. No script. I want to get better at that too. But yep, thank you for listening and hanging out. Thank you for sticking around the channel if you have. If you're new, you know, I post a lot of Tarkov stuff. I want to maybe do some other non-Tarkov related videos every once in a while because there's other things I enjoy and want to discuss too. So, you know, if that interests you, be sure to subscribe. You don't have to, but it would really mean the world to me. Lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope to see you in future ones. Thank you.